Good evening. We're gonna have the June the 6th council meeting. We'll have the invocation led by Commissioner Hart, Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Wilson, then roll call. Please stand.
Eternal, most precious Father, we thank you through your grace and your mercy. You have allowed us to come together once again to conduct the business affairs of the land that you've blessed us with that we call Ocoee. Lord, I pray that you will bless the sons and daughters of Ocoee who are in our armed services all over the world protecting our freedom. A special prayer goes out to our first responders, our police and firemen and EMTs that are watching over us. And God, as they watch over us, I pray that you watch over them. And as we come together, let us come together in the spirit of unity, Lord, that we conduct the business of our city. Thank you for what you have done and will do. In your son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Here.
Commissioner Wilson,
Here.
Mayor Johnson,
Here.
Commissioner Firstner is absent, Commissioner Hart.
Here.
All right, presentations or proclamations. Proclamation is when we have hanging in the hallways for Small Cities Month for June. Also, now we have the honor of having one of our past citizens here, Martha Lopez Anderson, with Parent Heart Watch on the donation to the Outdoors Saving Station Tower and AED. You want to come on up to the,
That was quick.
you hadn't forgot how to do that, I know.
No, I haven't forgotten. Good evening, Mayor and City Commissioners. It's a pleasure to be here. Again, my name is Martha Lopez Anderson, 898 Douglas Street in Winter Garden. I appreciate the opportunity to come before you during National CPR AED Awareness Week and in this be a very beautiful new city hall that you have. It's my very first time visiting, so congrats. As the mayor said, I am a past resident of Ocoee. My family and I called Ocoee home for 25 years. So happy to be here. Okay, and where's the Thank you. Welcome. So I have the privilege of being the Advocacy Director for Parent Heart Watch, the national voice solely dedicated to the prevention of sudden cardiac arrest and death in the young. And so Parent Heart Watch leads and empowers others by sharing information, educating others, and advocating for change. Besides education and awareness, which are paramount to the work that we do, Parent Heart Watch, together with its members in 40 states, we have screened over 900,000 kids for conditions and risk factors that could lead to sudden cardiac arrest, trained over 730,000 people in CPR and AED use, and placed over 9,800 AEDs in places where our youth congregate. That's schools, after school care programs, camps, parks, and athletic facilities. We've also been instrumental in affecting change in legislation regarding CPR, AED training, AED placements, cardiac emergency response planning, and lately, youth heart screenings. So many of you know, but for those that are here and also watching from home, on the screen is my 10-year-old son, Sean. He was a picture of health, never missed a day of school, never missed a day well checkup. In February 2004, he was rollerblading on the sidewalk in front of our home when he collapsed in cardiac arrest. Those that witnessed his collapse thought that he was epileptic because he was exhibiting seizure-like activity. Seizure-like activity is common in sudden cardiac arrest. It wasn't until a nurse, registered nurse and neighbor, noticed that he wasn't breathing, and she started CPR. At that time, our city was basic life support, and EMS took more than 10 minutes to arrive. At that time, Sean's heart was shocked 5 times, but it just quivered. So our hearts, right, pump blood to the body. His heart, after being shocked, it just quivered. and that's not effective, right? It doesn't continue to pump oxygenated blood throughout the body. And so he was transported to the hospital where they worked on him some more, and shortly thereafter, he was pronounced dead. I couldn't understand what had happened because 30 days before, he had had a well child checkup. And his pediatrician from birth said that everything was great, yet my little boy was gone. And 4.5 months later, we learned that Sean's sudden cardiac arrest had been caused by an undetected heart condition. And so I can tell you that losing Sean changed my life and the life of our family forever. But learning that his death could have been prevented was like losing him all over again. And here I stand, 19 years, 3 months, 22 days later, and it still hurts deeply. But that's what motivates me every day to do the work that I do, because it's preventable. If you remember anything I say today, remember, it's preventable. The outcome doesn't have to be death. So let's talk a little bit about, maybe, if I can do this. No? I went the wrong way, sorry. So let's talk a little bit about sudden cardiac arrest. It's a life-threatening emergency that occurs when the heart suddenly and unexpectedly stops beating. It's the third leading cause of death in our country. More than 356,000 Americans die every single year, and of those, 23,000 are children under the age of 18. 975 people affected daily, and of those, 90% don't survive. Mostly because people don't take action. So we'll talk more about that. And again, many of these deaths are preventable. So here's what we're trying to do, to really motivate everybody, people like you and I, to learn how to recognize sudden cardiac arrest when it occurs, and more importantly, to know that their actions can help save someone's life. So increasing survival rates from sudden cardiac arrest is, again, going to take people like you and I to recognize that when sudden cardiac arrest happens, the person collapses and doesn't respond or breathe normally. They may gasp for air and exhibit seizure-like activity like I shared before. That's something that happened to my son. And so what do we have to do? Besides recognizing it so we can take quick action, calling 911 to get help on the way is critical. Then someone starting CPR. That's hands-only CPR. Okay? Putting your hands on the person's chest and doing compressions at 100, 120 beats per minute, and then using an automated external defibrillator or an AED as soon as possible, and obviously if one is available. And so our city has been really proactive and has AEDs and buildings and so on, and that is something that is greatly appreciated. But when the doors in this building close, what happens? Those devices are not available. If the buildings, again, after business hours, those life-saving devices are not available, and that's exactly what we're trying to change. So all of you are familiar with the photo in front of you. That's Bill Breeze Park. And so a lot of things happen at Bill Breeze Park, from, festivals to families gathering, people boating, or, jet skiing or whatever, maybe fishing on the lake. So the goal is to have this device, which is where the arrow is. It has been installed, the Safe Station Tower. And the tower, you'll learn more about it, is pretty awesome to have something like this available in the community. And I want to thank Public Works Department for taking care of doing the work necessary so that the tower can be outdoors. The tower looks like this. So I encourage all of you to go outside and take a look. It's clearly marked for the public use with built-in monitoring technology to ensure the AED is always rescue ready, right? So it's always ready to go. The tower takes a picture when the cabinet is open, and it sends an alert and provides hands-free two-way communication with emergency services as GPS tracking monitors where the AED is taken. The tower is also ventilated, right, to keep the AED at the proper temperature. That's critical so that the AED, again, is rescue ready when needed. There's also a QR code displayed on the tower for the public to access a short inspirational video. And I can tell you that bystander intervention is the only way that we're going to increase survival rates from sudden cardiac arrest. Okay, let's see if this works.
Call.
Push. Shock. You can save a life from sudden cardiac arrest.
When you see someone suddenly collapse, call 911. Don't wait, call.
Push hard and fast in the center of the chest, like this. You can triple their chance of survival.
Shock.
AEDs are made for you to use. Yes, you.
It talks to you.
It tells you to put the pads here and here.
We lose 9 out of 10 victims from sudden cardiac arrest. Let's change the paradigm.
Call.
Push.
Shock.
Together we can save a life.
To join our national movement, visit callpushshock.org.
So every one of the individuals that participated in that video is either a parent who has lost a child, a sudden cardiac arrest survivor, a child living with a heart condition, or heart advocates that are really doing great work across our country. And so the collage in front of you is of youth stricken by sudden cardiac arrest. The color images represent those who have survived, and the black and white are those who did not. The Safe Station outdoor tower and AED is donated in their honor. Our goal is literally to change this picture one heart at a time. And so we're part of a movement, a national movement to protect young hearts where they live, learn, and play. And that even though we're solely focused on youth, the device is there to save anybody's life. It doesn't matter if it's a child or an adult. So I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Commissioners? Yeah.
Martha, I want to thank you. I mean, we've been along the road here for many years, and you've taught me a lot from the times when you were doing the program here, the testing, to learning all about AEDs along the way, and I appreciate that. And I'm hoping our community, through all the years that Martha has spent in Ocoee, and all her dedicated work, she and Andy, thank you for all that you've done to educate us. And every time I walk by an AED, I think of you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. The city, during our time in Ocoee, was an amazing partner. Our fire department, the city, in partnership with the Rotary Club, we got AEDs in all our schools in West Orange and West Orange County, and we did a lot of things. And again, heart screenings that took place and screened many, many hearts there in our own city. So again, thank you so much, and I pray the device never has to be used, but if it is ever needed, I know it will be ready for rescue and ready for someone to grab it and use it. I will share with you that, so safe stations, there a lot of people don't know about them. It's the tower itself where the AED is stored. And one was placed after much work and a lot of resistance out west. And less than 2 weeks later, it was used by young people, by teens, to save their basketball teammate. And so you just never know. They remembered that the device was there, they grabbed it, they executed the cardiac chain of survival perfectly without any fear, and more importantly, it resulted in a life saved. And the same thing happened just recently in Washington State, where a 12-year-old girl on a soccer field was saved because a safe station had an AED that they could quickly grab to save her life. So I'm going to leave you with this quote by John F. Kennedy: "One person can make a difference, and everyone should try." So I hope that if you're ever in the position of a person in sudden cardiac arrest, that you will have no fear of taking action. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is that on our website that folks know that it's there? I mean, do we have it as a,
It will be.
hopefully it's, so we can advertise it?
Thanks, Martha. I want to tell you, thanks personally for you and your husband being so much active in that over the years. I know there's a reason why, but I know all the years I've known you, they'll been at it. It's a great way to do things. So it makes, now people are putting them into churches and everywhere else. So I think it's just something to keep letting people know, because that's a bad time when that happens. So we really appreciate all your work, even though you moved to Winter Garden. We appreciate your efforts and time, and thank you very much for this.
Mr. Mayor?
I really forgot one important thing. I forgot to thank Chief Smothers and Deputy Chief Van Camp for all their help in making this happen.
Thank you.
Mayor?
Thank you, guys.
Mayor, can I say one thing?
Mayor.
Yep.
Commissioner Hart.
Yep.
Martha, I'd just like to say it's good seeing you. I was your neighbor back in the 90s over in, back in the 90s. And it's so good to see that you're turning a tragedy into a triumph. And I'm just thrilled by the lives that will be changed and saved for your work. So your work speaks for you. Keep up the good work. God's going to bless you. Thank you very much for what you do.
All right, staff report.
I have nothing, Mayor.
Okey-doke. All right, public comments. I have some public comments here. We'll start with Dave Denmark. Yes, sir. Come right up front.
Okay, my name's Dave Denmark. I live in Prima Vista. I've been there for about 33 years now. And I was just wondering, I went to one of the city rehabilitation meetings a couple years ago whenever we were getting ready to do the Main Street and everything, the Main Street out here, Blueford. But I was wondering about our district. I had talked to her about it once or twice on, I've noticed that south of Ocoee and north of Ocoee and east and west, we seem to be paving all the roads, except for right here in Little Ocoee where I've been. And I may have needed one of these AEDs when I went down Bowness the other day and hit one of those craters that was in the road, because it jarred my teeth so bad. I thought I broke a shock on my truck. And I've noticed that they've patched it and patched it and patched it and patched it. And now I travel mostly within the little perimeter of Ocoee. I try not to go too far anymore because I'm retired now. Another road that I was concerned about was Montgomery over here. It's getting worse and worse because the traffic has become so big on Blueford and McGuire that everybody's taking the little side roads to get to Walmart and other places they go to. So that was one of my concerns. And then the other concern is Tiger Minor Park, which I had talked to her about. That I noticed that Tiger Minor Park has been there a long time, and it used to be gated. It used to have people come through it and do the tree trimmings, and we had work benches all the way around that park, just like they put in front of the police station, where they had work stations, workout stations, and people used to just gather. It's still a very popular park, but I was just kind of wondering what we're going to do with that area also, since it's in, our district here. So
Right.
that's.
Is Steve Krug still here, Rob? Steve, can you answer the paving part, Mark?
Thank you.
Yes, sir. We'll get a couple answers for you, okay? I will tell you real quick while you're doing that. Bonus Road, I don't know what part you're talking about, but I know somebody keeps sending me letters about Bonus Road and the post office. that Silver Star Annex is not our road. That people don't seem to understand. That road in front of the post office and goes down the side is not ours.
The one in front of the post office.
Yes,
Silver Star.
that's not ours.
That's states.
That's state, yes, sir.
And then the one that's Bonus, what's
That-
that belong to?
Which part of bonus are you talking about?
Mayor, I'm pretty familiar. We've been
Yeah,
doing a lot of
okay.
patching and on
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And it is the portion, from Silver Star to Franklin is the cities.
Yeah,
We've been holding off because the state has a game plan to redo a lot of the roads at the intersection of Silver Star and, where McGuire comes up and turns into Claricona, Ocoee. So we didn't want to put a lot of money in there. We're not sure on the timing anymore, so we're reevaluating to see when we should go in there and do anything. We're looking at that too. We've got it's not in this year's proposed program that we're looking at for the 23-24, but we are watching it closely.
Like I was saying, with all the traffic that's coming down now, everybody's starting to take that road.
Yeah.
off Blue Fruit.
Yes. We are watching it, and we've just,
Thank you.
thanks.
yeah, we'll make sure they keep an eye on it, they patch it till we can get that,
Keep an eye on it daily.
yeah.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. As far as Parks and Recreation for Tiger Minor, we do have a new playground, inclusive playground that will be built probably starting in next month. The restrooms are going to be remodeled, new septic tank's going to begin there, and then eventually a new pavilion. I believe the east parking lot was repaved about 3 years ago. So we can look at the west side parking lot.
Basically, I was kind of, they did redo the lighting not long ago. And I was asking the guys, I walked out there and talked to them and asked them if they were going to go all the way around the park. Because a lot of your power lines that are going around the park, the trees are hanging way, way over. And with the hurricane system coming, they said they were going to be there for 2 months. They were there 2 days and they left and they never came back. I don't know what happened.
Okay, I can research that for you, then get an answer.
Just give him your name and numbers, Mr. Denmark.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You can get your number also from what you
Yeah,
left.
we got it. We got it. Yeah, I got it.
I wanted to say that, and then I gotta go.
No.
I appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We'll
Y'all
get
have a
Mark,
good meeting.
we'll get Mark your
I'll give it to
information.
him.
Okay.
Dwayne Moran?
Good evening. So I know this is not typically how this would go. There was supposed to be a staff report on this, but we're kind of cutting it close on the timeline. So I want to talk to the commission about closing part of McKee from Cumberland just past where Bike Life and Tajitos is going to be. So not all the way to the railroad tracks for Toll Road's 5th anniversary party. So about coming up on almost 7 years ago, I came up to this council for approval to put our brewery in downtown. And now we're going to be hitting 5 years of being open. So we want to throw a big party. We have plans to have a stage put out, professional stage built, live music all day, vendor village with people selling arts and crafts, that kind of stuff. We just need approval to close the road down for that day. I'm sorry, that would help. Yeah, it's Saturday the 24th, which is why if we'd come to the 20th meeting, it'd be a little too
Yeah,
close to.
Saturday, June the 24th?
Yes, yeah.
All right.
Do they need to do an event
Huh?
permit? Do they do an event permit, or do we go ahead and approve
The
it?
permit's in.
He's got-
It's
he's put
already
in
in,
for it.
yeah,
We
it's
just
already
need
in
to
and in
approve
in
it.
Oh,
process.
you just need the road closure approved.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. The permit's in.
I don't, anybody have a problem with that?
I'll make a motion. Do we-
You go ahead and make the
I'll make
motion.
the motion
We'll make the motion.
That we close we're gonna close McKee Street from Cumberland to
Cumberland,
just shy of the railroad tracks.
yes, yeah. All the way to Bluford will stay open, so
So
DG's
in front of
Pelicans,
DG Donuts, that's staying
that'll
open.
stay
We're just
open.
looking for the section in
Yep.
front of
right in
you
front of
and the,
Plaza across the
I
street,
was
yeah.
trying to think, I was gonna go
Yeah.
like this. the Plaza across
Yeah.
the street. I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Wilson. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Hart. Any more comments? No more comments? Let's vote.
Mayor, quick question. Has there been a special event permit filled out
Yes,
to
yeah.
this point? Okay.
Yep, it's already in process.
All right, so we dealt with police and fire issues and restrooms and that type of thing?
Do we need to edit it that once it gets, the event permit is approved, then it will?
Yeah, I guess, I don't know that I've seen it. Depending on the size, typically, we would ask about that too. Mike?
It's really in the beginning stages of review, but to this point, police have said they would have to hire off-duty officers and to give them a call. And I have it conditionally approved on this action tonight, but it's in the process.
All right, thank you.
Should I adjust my motion to include, once the event permit is approved, that we will,
We don't need.
the road
voted
closures,
it.
that necessary, or?
Oh, no, this is an integral part of that permit process.
Yeah, typically, we'd
You're-
want the road closed before we go and get some of those other i's dotted
Oh,
and
okay.
t's crossed, so.
We close that area all the time, and that's nothing really different than what we usually do. We just had it closed for the.
We just found out we forgot to do that part, the special event permit a couple of times in the last year,
They're
Mayor.
doing that, all right.
Has
All right.
everyone pushed the button to vote?
Did we push it?
Did we push it?
Not everyone.
Not everyone. Let's do it again. All in favor of the push?
Somebody's not put, oh, it's,
It's because, Commissioner.
Oh, I don't know why you showed up.
It carries with, it carries with,
I haven't seen that.
Let me change
first
that.
reps.
Oops,
Scott, you get the vote?
no.
Oh, that was city manager that abstained.
All right, that's it?
I fixed
it.
that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Good luck. We're glad to have you here. That's 5 years going by in a hurry. Y'all been doing a great job there. Thank you.
I was gonna say, that was.
Oh, Mr. Moyer.
My name's Jim Moyer. I live in Arden Park. I missed the last meeting, so this is kind of like a modified version of what I intended to present at that time. First, congratulations to the city, particularly Finance Director Roberts, on the clean audit for this past fiscal year and the prior audit, GFO Certificate of Excellence. Thank you to Mayor Johnson for his support, continually support of us veterans, all of us veterans, and Ocoee Post 109. And thank you to my commissioner, Commissioner Hart, for appointing me to the Human Relations Diversity Board, which I'm very, very ecstatic about. Now, I'd like everybody to guess who I'm talking about here. Helped to make the United States great, late 19th century. Made significant contributions during World War II, and helped to again make the United States even greater in the late 20th century. I'm talking about China and Chinese immigrants. They built the Transcontinental Railroad then in the 19th century, which enabled us to have the Industrial Revolution. They were our partner during World War II, and starting in 1965, the immigration, we all know the name Gates and Jobs and all those great visionaries, but it was immigrants from China and India that made those visions a reality. Has anybody ever seen this face of a hero here? The late 15-year-old Peter Wang got killed at the Parkland shooting when he saved many of his fellow classmates. And he was honored by Senator Scott and the city of New York, where he's from. In the United States, 3 Chinese originally came in 1785, and they've been risking their lives to get here ever since. The first Japanese came in 1843, and the first large wave of Chinese came in 1850. Accommodation on May 14th, the Asian American Heritage Council had an event right here at Lakeshore Center at Bill B's Park. I had the honor of being there. Fantastic event, and the city and Parks and Rec, as usual, did an outstanding job. Thank you all very much, and God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Moyer. All right, no more public comments. I'm going to close that and bring it down to the consent agenda. Any comments, or do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion made by Commissioner Kennedy. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Hart. Any more comments? Not, let's vote. Motion carries without Commissioner Forstner absent. Unanimous. Okay, first reading of ordinance. First reading of ordinance for LDC update, Articles 2, 5, and 6, and Table 5, relative to clarification on impervious surface materials, pet care services, and the correction of scrivener errors. First reading.
First reading, I'll read the title to the ordinance. This is an ordinance of the City of Ocoee, Florida, amending the City of Ocoee Land Development Code, Article 2, Section 2-4 definitions, Article 5, Section 5-4 and Table 5-1, and Article 6, Section 6-4H, relating to impervious surface materials, pet care services, and correction of scrivener's errors, providing for codification, providing for conflict, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
This will be back at our second meeting in June, I'm sorry.
20th. June 20th.
June the 20th. It will be back then for public comment. All right, second reading of ordinance, public hearing. Second reading of ordinance ratifying resolution 2023-06 to rescind the city's call for a special election for June the 13th, 2023, and calling for the general city election date to coincide with the Orange County Municipal Election Day and the presidential preference primary date of March the 19th, 2024. City Clerk?
Good evening. The City Commission at the May 2nd, 2023 meeting approved the resolution. This ordinance is just ratifying that resolution that was approved to rescind the city's call of the special election for June 13th and to hold the general election date to coincide with the Orange County municipal election and presidential preference on March 19th.
Okay. You got to read.
Yeah, I'll read the title to the ordinance. This is an ordinance of the City of Ocoee, Florida, ratifying City of Ocoee Resolution 2023-06, rescinding the city's call for a special election for the District 4 Commission seat scheduled for June 13th, 2023, calling instead for a general city election and scheduling such election on March 19, 2024, to coincide with Orange County Municipal Election Day and the presidential preference primary for the election for the District 4 Commission seat, proposed amendments to the city charter, and any other matters requiring a municipal election, providing for a qualifying period and schedule for runoff election to be applied in conjunction with said election, designating the Orange County Canvassing Board as the city canvassing board for the general city election, providing for severability and a savings clause, and providing for conflicts and an effective date.
Okay, you want to open the public hearing. Anybody in the public have any comments on item 10? Okay, close the public hearing, bring it back up to the dais. Comments or a motion?
I'll be happy to make the motion to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Wilson. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Second, Commissioner Hart. No more comments? Let's vote. Motion carries unanimous with Commissioner Forstner absent. All right, Ocoee Neighborhood Matching Grant applicants, award grant monies.
Oops, I'm early.
Where are we?
Good evening, everyone. I'm here tonight to present some information on our wonderful Ocoee Neighborhood Matching Grant Program. I'm Joy Porter Wright, for the record, Community Relations Manager. And this year we had 10 applicants for our Neighborhood Grant Program. The total amount requested is $19,500. There's $28,000 funded for the Neighborhood Grant Program. And what you have tonight before you is two options for Group A and Group B for approval.
Speak on it, but
You want to talk on it, or do you want to vote?
I want to speak on it.
All right.
I can't seem to bring it up on my iPad, but I remember reading
You
it.
don't have it, Melody, on?
No, I
Can you put it
didn't
on our,
have trouble bringing it up, but there's two options, and I'm looking at option B. I mean, again, I want to give the most we can to our neighborhoods. Every improvement they do, it improves our city and improves our, again, our neighborhoods. So I would, after reading it, I hope everyone read it, I was looking at option B. For some reason, we did not.
I can explain that, but.
Okay, you want to, oh, okay. The option. Okay.
Last year, when we did this process, that neighborhood in your district got shorted. And they also got pulled at the last minute by some of the officers going out that did it instead of putting it through like it was supposed to be, and we didn't give all the money to them. And this year, there's enough money there that we can go back and let them get it again. So this time, they're getting the full amount. So that's why they had to do it. Right, Rob?
Yeah, Mayor, I think staff would agree with you also. It's just the rules that were adopted by the commission said we can't do it, so we had to give it to you, and you guys can do that, though.
Yeah. So do we need to vote A and then B? Or move them both together?
Is it A or B?
It's A or B, and so
Group A
B
or
would
B.
be the one that would be giving the one neighborhood who was shortchanged last year for one reason or another. And it also allows, doesn't it allow the other neighborhoods, Forest Ridge, to still be able to correct the issues that they have with their
Yes.
application?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that was option B, and if there's no more discussion, I mean, I just want to make the motion that we would be going to option B. I think it's very important for us to support our neighborhoods, support, whether it's I wish we had more neighborhoods that did this, not just HOAs, but,
No. So we just say all of them are gonna get it.
well, we're gonna say that all that are on the recommendation plus,
That would be B.
that would be B.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all right.
It is, they're two distinct. B includes
Yeah.
the one that staff couldn't include. Yeah.
All right. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Kennedy. Any more comments? No more comments? Let's vote. Motion carries unanimously with Commissioner Forstner absent.
Thank you.
All right. The Regency Mixed Use Development Large Scale Final Site Plan and First Amendment to the Development Agreement.
Thank you, Mayor. Mike Rimmer, Development Services Director. You had seen some of this project earlier in the Community Redevelopment Agency meeting that was presented to you. The property is a final large-scale site plan, and the issue is should the Honorable Mayor and City Commission approve of the final large-scale site plan and amendment, First Amendment to the Development Agreement. The property is located on the west side of McGuire Road at the intersection of Old Winter Garden Road and McGuire, just north of the Turnpike. It's over 16 acres. We have and the property is located within the Community Redevelopment Agency's Target Area 1 plan, which is a zoning overlay, which has additional requirements above the Land Development Code. Some of those requirements are things like public block streets, open space, and architectural criteria. This project was submitted to us and was the preliminary site plan and original development agreement was approved May of 2022. And we are bringing the final site plan before you tonight. That is typically a consent item on the agenda, but however, we do have an amendment to the development agreement, which requires a presentation to the commission. So we moved this to a regular item. Just a quick overview of the project is it's a true mixed-use project which will kick off the much anticipated extension of Old Winter Garden Road, which is not only required in the target overlay plan, but it's also a project in the city's capital improvement and long-term transportation plan. Now, this segment of road that this developer will be developing for the extension of Old Winter Garden Road happens to be the widest and most expensive part of the road because it has to receive the 4 lanes across the road and McGuire Road. They also, to facilitate this, have to make improvements to the intersection of McGuire Road and Old Winter Garden Road. What I'm showing you here, oops, sorry, didn't. Which one do I press, Melanie? Is it HDMI? Okay, sorry. So what I'm showing you here it's not only the extension of Old Winter Garden Road, but is the beginning of what we call the North Road A, which at some point will extend north past the West Orange 5 movie theater. So they are facilitating the target area 1 by providing 2 public roads, which have a little bit more depth to their development, similar to what Blueford Avenue has out in front of City Hall. Just kind of showing some stormwater is going to be amenitized into a public park. We have landscaping plans. This plan is engineered, so once they finalize staff's comments they're not significant, and they receive all their permits, we do a pre-construction meeting and they go to site development. So this is a site development plan that they go to construction. And then just touching on lightly, I'll just touch on the amendment to the development agreement. We provided some of those credits and incentives that we discussed at the CRA meeting earlier today to help provide for the right-of-way that this property purchased that they'll dedicate back to us, some cost of the road construction, amenitizing areas for the public use and such. And so with that, we're recommending approval of the large-scale final site plan and the First Amendment to the developer's agreement. Thank you.
You can ask him.
If you want to speak, you're welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. My name is Dan O'Keefe with law firm Schutz & Bowen, 300 South Orange Avenue, Orlando, Florida. I'm here on behalf of the developer of the Regency. We have our team here, including our engineer, our architect, the owner of the project. And really, this has been a pretty long process. This process has changed the project dramatically from what was originally presented to match up with the city's vision of this area and target 1. We're excited about this project. We think it's going to be great to start the development and extend Old Winter Garden Road and get this whole area. We think it's going to be the spark that's going to start it. We'd like to thank staff for an extraordinary amount of effort and time that they have put into getting the project to where it is now and to where they're comfortable with it. And the engineers and the architects have worked hard also on that, come up with a project that we think the city is going to be proud of, and it also works for the owner group. So with that, we'd respectfully request approval, and we also have the team here to answer any questions you might have.
All right, thank you. Anybody have any questions before we make a motion?
I just have one comment for clarity. Mike, in the agenda item staff report under section 7, there's a typo. And can you just have that corrected in the final version for the record? It says the retention pond, the cost of the retention pond is incorrect.
Thank you.
That's it.
Anybody else?
I have one question, Mayor. I know several months ago we had a meeting about the widening of the Turnpike and the 429 merger. This will not affect the Regency Park because it's further north of that. Is that correct?
Good question. Presently, this is in the area of influence, and they are, we understand, working hard to not impact this, but at this time, we're not able to say whether they totally have not missed that, but good question.
Okay, so it's to be determined?
To be determined, yes.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
You have any comments?
No, I went through them with Rob beforehand, so.
All right, we need a motion to
I'll
approve.
be happy to make the motion to approve.
Per staff recommendation.
For staff
First staff's-
recommendation, and I guess with Mr. Kennedy's comment.
Commissioner Wilson makes the
Scrivener
motion for staff's recommendation. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Kennedy. Any more comments? Let's vote. Motion carries unanimously. Commissioner Forstner absent. All right, congratulations, gentlemen.
And they even sat through 2 meetings.
Yeah, you earned it tonight. Thank you, appreciate it. Looking forward to that project. Thank you very much.
And you're welcome to come back.
Yeah, feel free to come sit up front anytime. All right. There he is. I'm looking for Recreation Director Mark Johnson.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. At the May 16th Commission meeting, y'all asked for staff to bring back discussion about the Christmas parade that the city has previously had in the past. Since COVID, we haven't had a Christmas parade. So I'm here tonight to discuss and ask for recommendation on what the commission would want staff to move forward with. Just a few things to think about when you're thinking about the parade and what goes on with that. Date, time, do you have a committee that helps run it? Is it staff-driven? Registration, who can be in it, who can't? You gotta have a lot of those little details. I will say on the time and the date, previously it was the first Saturday of December, and we rotated with the City of Winter Garden, either the morning or the afternoon. But they have set their parade to be the morning parade permanently. So our option would have to be the afternoon on that one. And just a lot of the rules, regulation. There's a few issues in the past with participants that had gotten the parade that maybe shouldn't have been in there.
I think what part of what Mark is saying is there were issues before that we kind of deferred to the Lions Club because there were certain groups that wanted to be in it that we didn't think would represent the city well. We wouldn't be looked upon favorably if we let certain groups in, but it's really tough for us to ban somebody from the parade. So we left that to the Lions Club. And so it was basically the Lions Club parade that the city participated in. So those are just things to think about. We've always done it with a third party, and so there'd be additional responsibilities as far as restricting who, when, what, and that type of thing, too.
I know you're probably gonna comment on it, but
I'm going to comment on it, yes. I am going to.
I thought so. What is what's it called the day we do the Christmas thing, Mark?
The Jolly Jamboree?
Jolly Jamboree, is that the same day?
No. That's the second Saturday of December.
All right, I'm gonna let Commissioner Wilson
Yeah.
have her discussion.
Have my comments? I've got a lot to say. I am a member of the Lions Club, and I have not worked on the parade because being in the parade was something I could not be standing on the corner. But at that time, we had a lot more members. It was my understanding from everyone who worked on it, it was very time intensive to do that. And then the Lions Club at that point decided that after COVID that we could no longer do it. So they made that decision. And when the city then elected not to do the parade, we can go to Winter Garden to the parade if you'd like to go, because most of the same activities were in our parade as in Winter Garden. But we then decided to put our emphasis on the Jolly Jamboree, which last year we held it, and we had a great turnout, great response from the community as to coming out on Saturday night and participating. It was kind of a little up from the Cinco de Mayo. I mean, we put more funds into it. We had participation from the local schools. The kids came out. It was a great community event. I'd like to see us stay with the Jolly Jamboree and not do the parade, because if you're going to do, you can either do 2 mediocre events or you can do 1 good event. And I think we had such a great response. I know, Mayor, you may have had some comments from folks who missed the parade. Well, go to our sister city 2 miles away and enjoy the parade, but allow us to do an event that to me was a classy event. We had carolers that roamed the street. We had the students who came and did their activities. The schools came and they sang. It was just a fun event for everyone. And I'd like to stay with just that. You also tax the staff. You're putting on, you have Breakfast with Santa, or is it Breakfast with Santa, which I get great responses from. It's just as Easter, you did the morning with the Easter Bunny. Again, these are classier to me events than just doing a parade. Let's stay with, everyone wants Ocoee to be a little more than the next city. Well, this is our chance to be that. And let's put our emphasis and our staff into that activity versus a parade, then doing the Jolly Jamboree. Something is gonna lose. And I don't want to see that. And I would like to see us stay with the Jolly Jamboree. I worked on it last year. I hope to work on it again. And again, a fun event. We had the lighting of the Christmas tree out here. We were able to bring folks downtown. That's what we want to do. Bring folks downtown to go to our businesses, to spend their money there. Because I don't think the parade was going, people are coming for the parade and they leave. But now you can, again, we need to emphasize our businesses. And this is an opportunity for us to do that in the evening. So I'm not saying that's going to be my last comment, but it will be my initial comment.
Anybody else? It's up to that's up to the board. I brought it up because I was asked to bring it up, so I did that. But if we do the Jolly Jamboree, I think maybe we up it some, make it a little bit bigger and a little bit better.
We do have a parade that night.
Huh?
It's a pet parade, but
Yeah, well,
That was great. Everyone
the
loved
pet
it.
parade. Yeah, question. I'm just saying, I think we could up it with the music, maybe even ask the band if they come play at night or something too. 'Cause I know the choir or the, one of the parts of the high school band came.
Well, HAPCO, I think they had the jazz band
That was
over.
another-
That
yep.
should be moved
Yeah.
over so that more people, again, that was the first year. It was a trial and error. What we did wrong, I think
No,
we went too late. We should have, I think there's a
We
lot of
started a
things.
little earlier after, maybe,
And the pet parade, people loved it. And it was another factor to bring in the community.
yeah, I think.
And so I'm sorry I'm
I
being
think if we
negative.
put Commissioner Wilson helping y'all with that, she could.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who are the high schools and are the kids or the bands wanting a parade? Is that the interest, or where's that interest?
I haven't had anybody
say?
reach out to me.
Where did the interest come from
Is it,
going back to a parade?
is it
That was
kids and the
citizens.
bands and the
Citizens.
schools, or just citizens?
Just
Okay.
citizens.
I'm good.
You know, they didn't want to drive to Winter Garden, I guess, so.
We had
you know.
elementary schools singing.
I will tell you
Yeah,
that
that's the only comment I don't agree
it is hectic to do. And then we were trying, one of us would cook, one the other time would cook and stuff like that. I just think if we're gonna do that, let's make it a big, make it the big thing that makes it different
I
from what
agree
you
with
said,
that.
what they're doing with the Christmas parade.
I'd rather see the money spent on that and
Yeah, I
elevate
had to.
that than to divide the money between, because it could be very costly. The parades are costly
So
Yeah, the budget,
consensus would be,
probably about $30,000.
yeah,
for a parade.
consensus would be to stay with the Jolly.
Yeah, I think once, it's the first time, so I always believe in, once you do it the first time, you do it better the next time. And we'll have something that's unique to us, to our city. Because I always say, Ocoee needs to have an identity. We need to be known for something, and this will be part of that identity. So I like the idea.
We can also take that 30,000 and put it into lights that we don't.
You mean to change, that's probably a whole nother discussion,
Well,
Mayor, of what we're gonna
yeah.
do for lights for
I
Christmas.
know, a bigger tree, Mark, that tree, didn't grow over the year.
Do we own it?
Yeah.
Is that a tree? Do we own that
Yeah.
tree?
We do on that tree.
We own that tree. Well,
Can we make it bigger? Didn't you say that guy? Okay, let's work on that. I don't have a problem with that. It seems consensus is to stay with the Jolly Christmas. I know you
We'll
like
do that.
it.
I'll discuss with Mark what we can do and maybe
Okay.
to step it up a little this year.
All
too.
right,
and I'd like to continue to work with them.
no, I thought we were gonna point you to that.
Well, wait, me, I'm happy.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Whether Mark wants me or not.
All right, we're down to the comments from commissioners. Commissioner Kennedy.
No comments.
Woo. I'm gonna take yours then. Commissioner Commissioner Wilson,
I've said enough, thank you.
you know?
Yes, I've already said enough.
Commissioner Hart?
Okay, well, I'd like to give a big thanks to the police department. We had a fantastic time at the police picnic, and a special thanks to the guys on the grill. It really made my day. It's good when the community can see the police as humans, as people that care about their city, putting their lives on the line for us to take care of, and they had a great time. So hats off to you, Chief, great job. Looking forward to next time, and hopefully my daughters can jump rope a little bit better next time. Memorial Day event was moving. The speaker was fantastic. It made Memorial Day personal. As she told a story of people, just like you and I, putting their lives on the line, here one day, gone the next. And like I always say, we can debate the politics of war. We can debate whether we should be in or out of war, but we should never debate the sacrifice. We should never debate the sacrifice, and we should always appreciate it. In the future, I would like to try to find a way to get more of our veterans out. I got mad respect for veterans. I never served, but my brother served in the Navy, and seeing him and how they interacted, I have much respect for them. So I like to try to find a way to get more of our, especially our senior veterans out, to come out and celebrate or remember or commemorate, might be a better word, for the sacrifice that was made. Car show, had a great time. I'm a Chevy guy, so all you Ford guys. I'd like to see more downtown. We need a parking garage. I know I'm new to the game, but we need a parking garage. We need to have a safe place for families to park, the amenities, because we have a great potential here in Ocoee. It's going to take a financial investment. But if we want to make this Ocoee what it needs to be, I think it'll be well worth it. So once again, I'd like to find a way to get that done. School is out. You can hear the kids cheering. You can hear the teachers cheering even louder. There's my wife, she's a teacher. She's cheering even louder because school's out. So please drive safely. I cannot emphasize it enough. Drive safely throughout our communities because our kids are out there and we want to make sure we watch out to them. And on a personal note, today's a very special day for me. My youngest daughter, Caitlin, allowed me to come to the city commission today. Today's her birthday, so we got to celebrate her birthday when we get home. So happy birthday, Caitlin. Daddy will be home soon. God bless you all. Thank you for allowing me to serve the commission. I'm learning a lot, appreciating a lot. We have a fantastic staff, and we have a fantastic city, and we are blessed to be in Ocoee. Thank you.
You know, there's a new system starting here, a new way to start is that person that does that has to sing happy birthday to the.
Well, I've been told not to sing in public or my kids would disown me, so I don't have a key.
We'll excuse you.
I don't have a key.
All right. First thing before I start on, I got 4 or 5 different things here. We'll scatter them around. City workshop. I want to ask for a city workshop just for the commissioners, Rob. And I asked Craig to come up. And I want to bring up the downtown items, that parking lot, the old city hall, Oakland Street, and how to ease the traffic problem we got right through downtown with people coming through. So I'd like to have a workshop with the commissioners that we can talk amongst us, just like separate from what we did 7 or 8 years ago. I just want this to be the commissioners where we can, before the budget process starts, we can talk about some of the main things we have to do to finish up downtown.
Yeah, we can certainly do that, Mayor. You can call for it, and it happens as long as there's 2 other people who show up. So what are your preferred dates?
Well, that's what we got to work on. I want the office, if you guys will, we call the commissioners.
Did we want you?
We can do it in the afternoon if most,
Everyone's not retired like.
Well, yeah, they are.
You had mentioned, Mayor, before the workshops.
No, that's why we got to call and ask. I'm just saying, if we can do it 3:30 in the afternoon, I'd like to do that.
Well, the first workshops are going to be in August. Is that something you want to do in early August,
I want to make sure we do
July,
that
or
before the budget gets set and done, before we get.
I think what you remember, I'm sorry, I don't want to take your time up. Can I defer some of my 5 minutes?
Well, I'm not going to cap that.
Okay. Didn't we had something at the mall. Remember we had,
Yeah, but that was a long, yeah, that was.
That was not, but you're talking the same kind
This
of concept.
strictly for the city commissioners to do a workshop on the downtown revitalization projects that we need to do now.
and you're going to need some staff there.
Sir?
You'll need some staff there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, we can put something. I'm just wondering what time frame. Mid-July. First budget meeting's going to
the end
be.
of July.
Yeah, the first budget workshop is going to be
Scott,
around August
can
15th or
you make it
16th,
if
I
we do
believe.
it?
It depends on the day that they propose.
Yeah.
Well, I know what days you play golf.
He's off good work, and also, I mean, you have.
Yeah.
I know where he's
Give me a
at.
date, I can work around it, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We'll get the dates put together through the staff.
Yeah.
And let's do it and come up with your thought process for downtown, just like Commissioner Hart said a while ago. And I'm telling you, we have to find a place to park somewhere in this town before it's all gone. And then there's some other stuff I want to bring up about the downtown part on the building over here and different things like that. So I think that, we need to come to a workshop and sit and work on that for an hour or whatever we want to do.
Yeah, okay, we'll look at some dates and we'll get them out to you, and
right.
so we can get a consensus on that.
Okay. And I don't know who's going to be there. You going to be the facilitator for us?
Well,
Rob?
per Rob's direction, I'd like to be and have Ginger and Mike
Professionally
involved.
trained over here,
Yeah.
so I think there's a
I
good
knew
possibility that
All right.
might happen.
Whatever y'all, okay, yeah, please.
Thank you.
All right. I got a few other things here. I'm going to jump around again. Bathrooms, Stark Lake. We've got to come up with something. That's one of the items that we got to figure out. We have a house sitting down on the lake that if we didn't do anything else for going out and spending a couple of $1 million, we could take half of that house, turn it into restrooms, and the other half we use for storage or whatever they're using it for. But it could be a place we have bathrooms go. Or you're going to have to get porta johns and put down on that lake on the weekends.
We have to have something. I agree.
Something's got to happen. 'cause
Yeah, I think we're probably going to agree with you on that, Mayor. I think there was some resistance in the past for some of those houses that we've owned around here as the parking and restrooms
Yeah.
and stuff. I seem to have seen a little change in the last couple of years and, the buy-in on that. So if we have that discussion, I don't think funding that's going to be too much of an issue.
I know that there are people that are new here that doesn't understand this, but we had a great bathroom set up down on that lake, but it was tore up, burnt by people. But that's part of what happens. We still cannot avoid it. We gotta have that down there, because it's not fair to the neighbors around the neighborhood that has to see what goes on.
Right.
So I also wanna, and maybe do it in the budget, whoever's taking to the lake, is have somebody on Saturdays and Sundays during the summertime that work down at the lake. Because
And
there's no
holidays.
control of what they're doing down there, so.
Yeah.
I thought we had the police department, I'm sorry, chief, but I thought at one point, from Memorial Day to Labor Day, there was
Yeah.
supposed to be, the weekends, we're supposed to have officers doing some assignments.
I think that was more on the water, Commissioner.
water.
Yeah, we were
If-
trying to keep somebody on the water on the weekends
If
during
we
the peak
hired
hours.
summer help just for the summer.
Yeah,
just like we
we're
do it-
talking about on land, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm talking
that's
about
what I
being
thought.
I
up on
thought
the-
that's what the land, they were on land, they were kind of
No,
watching.
they go
for
out
the-
in the lake.
They were watching for.
Right, Chief?
for music loud
Yeah.
and control.
That's another issue there. We gotta,
It's another good issue to talk about at
well,
our
it could be a
workshop.
part-time person and, on weekends, but somebody that wanted to work part-time. The other thing is the stoplights downtown. We go through this all the time. I sit down there and everybody here, I know a lot of people sitting in there right now. We sit down there on Friday nights, you go downtown, you better not step off that curve. And the other problem is, we got stop signs there, but you can't see them. It's dark, it's dark as can be at the corner of Cumberland and McKee, and there's no, I thought maybe I'd ask you, have you got any money left in your discretionary fund?
I have a little bit, and I was gonna talk to the chief about
But
it, we can talk about that.
We need to put flashing lights on those stop signs, because nobody sees them. And I mean, they don't stop, they come through there, and everybody in here that sits there knows that. So we've got to come up with a way to slow that down, but the stop signs cannot be seen at night at that corner. So we need to put those flashing lights on them or whatever.
Let us take a look at that, Mayor,
And
before
I was
we
gonna-
jump to the
while we're
flashing
talking
lights,
about-
which
while
could
we're
be a little
talking-
tacky, but
Yep.
let's see if we can come up with
All right,
something.
while we're talking about it, we got $42,321.76 we can buy them.
That's more than my discretionary fund.
Yep. So I'd like to say, take it out of the contingency fund, and let's get stoplights or on those stop signs.
If you want to authorize up to a certain amount for something that
You go,
I'd say let's look at the options, though, besides,
I
I've
would
seen
say
the
up to-
flashing ones, and
I'd say
I don't
up
know
to
that we want those
$10,000. You don't
downtown.
need that much, but I'd say up to $10,000. You won't need that much.
What do you want? You want signs, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt your time, but you want signs that have around the perimeter of it
Yeah.
that would be flashing?
Like we put out by,
Is there anything that's appropriate, I mean, do we have any, are there any signs?
or you
that
can
are
put the one that has the, what do you call it?
I'm sure there's probably more downtown appropriate ones out there. I'm just
Yeah,
not
you
familiar
can
with
put
what
the
they
one
are
that
right
has
now.
the, what do you call it,
Oh, the solar?
solar ones.
All right, we'll take a look.
I know that solar were a problem with those speed signs for a while.
If you give us a
I put-
consensus, we'll go ahead and, up to that certain amount of money, we can go ahead and identify something we think is gonna work and get it out there.
All right, I also, we need a sign that says business or something coming around from down Crawford's, coming around by the taco place that comes downtown, because they come around that corner fast as they do. We need to put something that sits there flashing says business district or something that's down, because they don't slow down.
Congested.
That's a state road.
Congested area or something
Yeah.
like that.
Can we do something, because that's a state road, isn't it right there on, is Taylor or state
I'm sure we could do something, but, I don't know if Steve's still here to tell if it's a state road or not, but either way, I don't think it's gonna be an issue on a state road as long as it's a Green Book approved sign, which congested area,
Yeah.
something like that. We can't
It's-
make up our
it's
own sign
dangerous.
and put it on a state road though, so.
The other, there was,
I cross in front of the Lions Club periodically, and you can't get
we,
across.
years ago, we had a stop sign when you get to the railroad track. We need to put it back. When you come out, coming up McKee to the railroad track, you put the stop sign. That
It sits
way
back,
Huh?
right? It sits back.
No, it's
No?
not one there. They took it down.
There used to be.
Yeah.
All right, we'll check on that.
Yeah, that's gone. Also, signs, while we're talking about signs and we got money, I don't know who has the order where we order the city limit signs at? You know, we changed them over to those flower signs.
It's gonna be Mike or Ginger
We
probably,
need-
who had last,
We need a sign out on Robeson Road by the pet place that goes off Warrior Road, is our city. We need a city limit sign there. You also need one on, what is that? Not Robeson, Tomlin Road is where the first. the second
Gateway
one is
signs.
Robeson Road that built those those apartments there, or not apartments, but assisted living that keeps telling everybody it's Windermere. I want a sign put there where they'll understand that is Ocoee. City limit sign, we don't have one there.
Just so, for clarification, you're meaning the city gateway signs
Well, yeah.
that
The
we
three
have
gateway
in other
and,
places?
the 3D ones?
Yes.
Some of them are lit and some of them aren't. I think the
No,
majority
I
are
don't
not
mind
lit.
Not lit or not,
Okay.
but I want the sign there. It's
We-
right
we
by
can
that
get those
roundabout
ordered.
when you come off the roundabout. But we also need one on Robeson Road up by, because they don't understand there in Ocoee either, so, you know, sorry about that, folks. But nothing against Windermere, but, you know, that people seem to think they build here and call it Windermere, so. It's in the Facebook every week. So I want to see if we put, and we should have put city limit signs there. Well,
Those are some good
whoops, I'm
points.
over, huh?
You have some very good points.
Yeah, and that's it, I think. I want to thank everybody for for summer being careful. I know the summer's over, starting now, so we still have to watch out for these, children on the road and out in town now that school's out. But I also want to mention to the Parks Department, if you haven't seen our skate park, what's it called, Mark? You got a name for it. I want to tell everybody, if you haven't seen that or haven't been there, go by and look at it. It is really a great addition.
It's Ocoee Action Sports Park is the
It is.
name. We have
And
a
I'm
logo.
telling you, it is packed. That place is packed with not just young people, it's a lot of older adults are doing it. So,
Probably one of the
yeah,
most
it's a good
used
addition.
items in the city.
Yeah.
We have our ribbon cutting June 21st.
All right. And while we're asking about ribbon cutting, one more thing. When are we opening Unity Park?
Craig, do you have that date?
All right, the other point that goes to that, and I'll be done, is we talked about, we've got a Unity Park, we're supposed to put the granite monument in there with the names of the 1920 massacre deal. So we had talked about $10,000 back at that meeting a couple of times. They're taking it out of that fund that was there to put the $10,000 in to pay for that, marble. But we need to get that together and get the names together where we can go ahead and start putting them on the place. And there is a place down there, if anybody'd like to go one day, that you can put it at the new park. They've got an indented place there in the middle of the park that'll fit right at it.
I don't think you can tell anyone to go there because you still haven't.
No, I know, but when it gets open.
Okay.
There is some people going there now. The homeless have decided to use it too, so, but no big deal. All right. Once again, thank you. See you, what is it, June the 20th. Good evening.